How does the brain produce an auditory hallucination? Narrated by Carissa Enright. This picture shows the brain pathway that produces the sounds we all hear. The bird makes a sound that travels through the air as sound waves that transfers the waveform to the cochlea and travels the cochlear nerve to the ventral cochlear nucleus. This part of the brain only notes that a sound has entered the ear. It registers volume, pitch, and speed. To interpret the sound, the cochlear nucleus sends the impulse through many more connections in the brain until it gets to the auditory cortex of the brain. The impulse is matched to a remembered sound, and the brain is able to give it a name. This sound would register as birdsong. In contrast, the auditory hallucination occurs without any outside stimulus or sound. Instead, a part of the auditory cortex activates by itself. The hallucination could be any sound, but the most meaningful will be the sound of a voice, talking. But why do some people hallucinate when most of us do not? What is going on in the brain that is different? Let's look at something that is easier to see on a brain scan: epileptic seizures. Compare these scans of the normal brain and a brain in the middle of a seizure. There is a part of the brain that suddenly becomes active for no apparent reason. In this case, the part of the brain involves the motor cortex, therefore you will see the seizure activity. Hallucinations involve the random electrical activity in the auditory cortex that results in sounds for no apparent reason. These sounds are not that little internal voice that we all have, the one that we use to talk to ourselves. Like when you've had dessert and your voice says, "Don't eat any more of that cake." That voice is clearly inside your head. The hallucination is experienced as an actual external sound, just like real voices. But of course, the person is also hearing real sounds. The hallucinations may talk over real voices the person hears. This produces a confusion and difficulty in attention that adds to the experience of psychosis. This is the physiology of hallucinations.